$50,000 handed to me after closing by a professional baseball player client as a surprise gift. A home that failed to sell for an entire year, and we sold it in 10 days at the same price. And a multi-million-dollar offer on a luxury estate that the seller decided to decline. Real estate is full of moments like this, and every one of them teaches something about strategy, timing, and negotiation. Over the years in real estate, I learned something interesting. Success in this business rarely comes from the situation that you expect. I helped a professional baseball player find his home, and then after closing, he surprised me with an extra $15,000 bonus. I have taken over listings that sat on the market for a year and sold them in just 10 days at the same price they have listed before. And even negotiating strong offers on an ultra luxury property only for the seller to decide not to sell at all. Each of these moments taught me something powerful about strategy, negotiation, and the psychology behind real estate. Today, I want to share those stories with you. One of the situations I see very often is when a property has already been on the market with another agent but did not sell. That happened with a home that we sold recently in Pembroke Pines. The property has been listing for over a year. The sellers were receiving around $1.1 million. They were frustrated because they believed the home had much more value. When we analyzed the property, we realized the issue was not the home by itself. The problem was the strategy. So we repositioned the property, we improved the property, we staged, and we completed a new marketing campaign. The incredible result, we sold the property at $1.3 million, setting a new benchmark in the area. These lessons here is simple. Sometimes the difference between a home that sits and a home that sells is not the market, it's the strategy. From 1 year on the market to sold in 10 days. Another story that stands out happened in Parkland. This property has been listed for nearly a year, and then we became involved. Beautiful home, new construction, great location, but no serious offers. When we step in, we approach the property differently. We introduce professional staging, reposition the price based on buyer psychology, and relaunch the property with a focused marketing strategy. Within 10 days, the home sold for $4,385,000. For the sellers, this was life-changing. It showed how important it is to understand how buyers actually behave in today's markets.
Denise, I think you should mention more of what you did inside the house. Not only the staging, which was many rooms, I remember, but who did you invite that was key for an event that you did there?
So we invite the city mayor. We did an elite event where after we prepared the house, which, by the way, we redid the landscaping. We add hedges on one side of the house, and we improved the front of the house with a beautiful green landscaping. And we work on the incredible twilight pictures where we were showing the lifestyle, obviously. And then after that, we invited the city mayor to an elite brokers event. And pretty much it was a combination of mindset, strategy, and we actually priced the house at the same price they have it on the market for a year. And that was risky. That was a risky decision for me. The easier way, it was to, reducing the price. That's what everybody would do in this case. But something in me was telling me, just do all that and then relaunch the property, and we actually relaunch at the same price. They have it listed for a year, but we just improved the house. We improved the looks, we improved the experience, and then we had the results. We sold the house in 10 days. So that's what it tells you, that we as realtors, we also have the experience, something that tells us go in that direction, trust your God, trust yourself, because you have done this so many times. I knew the strategy was lacking in that particular case. And we launched a spectacular week of promotional videos everywhere, and there you go. We just found the right buyer for that house, and that's one way to show you that even in this market, sometimes it's not the wrong price. Sometimes it's the wrong strategy. Selling above online estimates. Another interesting case involving a property in Weston, it was that online estimates suggested the home was worth around $1.18 million. Actually, Silo mentioned that price. But when we studied the market deeply, and we believe the property could achieve more if positioned correctly. So in that case, we also prepared the house, and we staged, we did painting, and then we did the strategic marketing and negotiation. We sold that home for approximately $1.3 million. This is why I always tell sellers something important. Online estimates can provide you a starting point, but they do not understand the full story of your property. A professional strategy always matter. For that particular house, the fun part is that we launched that house on a Friday afternoon. I decided that I wanted to do a twilight open house on a Friday afternoon from 4 to 6. Everybody around, realtors and colleagues, they were saying, "Why are you doing an open house on a Friday night? No one is gonna go." Even the owner of the property, she told me, "Denice, I think you're actually making a mistake. You're not, you're gonna waste your time. It's Friday night. Who's gonna come for an open house?" So we did an incredible twilight open house, and we actually received 30 buyers. We're not in the market of 30 buyers in an open house. We're not in the market at all. But when I actually started to creating the marketing for this particular property, we target the right audience. This particular home has a huge lot with water views. The house has an incredible views, and I knew that I needed to target to the right audience, and we did. We actually target in the Miami area, and we received overwhelming amount of people coming to see the house. We actually did a lot of the Google ads with these videos, and when we started getting the people, we couldn't realize what was happening because the price was right. Even the seller thought that he was pricing the house really low, and like, no, this is going to be record in Bonaventure, in Weston. Obviously, when they saw all that amount of people. But that's what you do when you do the right, you create the right content, and then you target to the right audience, and then we sold the house also. We sold the house that day, to be honest. They presented the contract a few days later, but that day we had the buyer. He went to the property and he actually presented an offer. We represented both sides of the transaction. But what it's fun to see that it's sometimes we're not in 2021. We don't get this amount of people in our open house. But when you do everything right, and in this case, it just happened to that the sellers were very proactive. They were listening to our recommendations, and this is what we were able to achieve for them. They were super happy. But not all the stories are happy story or happy ending stories. We also have some crazy stories, but I just gonna mention this property. This is one of the most unique listing we have. It was an ultra luxury listing in Wilming Ranch Estates. We actually create an incredible content for this property. The house was unique in many ways. And for properties like this, the strategy was to be able to get a specialized buyers, of people that really likes this type of home. What we did as well, we invite Marty Kier, the Broward County property appraisal, to the house. We did an event and we create the buzz around the property, and we actually received a very strong offer. I mean, the seller didn't thought that the offer was really great because it wasn't the asking, but the offer was great. And the fun part is that he then decided not even to counter, and pretty much he decided, actually, after that he fired me. I don't think he will see that offer. And again, this is my personal opinion, but things like this happen, and the bottom line is we did everything and beyond to generate that offer for him, and that's it. So experiences like these are the ones that makes the luxury real estate so fascinating. Every property tells a different story. Over the years, what I have learned is that selling a home successfully is rarely about luck. This is about preparation. It's about understanding the market. And most importantly, it's about creating the right strategy for each individual property, because every home deserves to be positioned to achieve its full potential. Why do a buyer would like to give you an additional $15,000 bonus? When he knew I was compensated already by the seller. And what he told me was it really impacts me. And what he said was the following. He said that through his career, the majority of people around him were looking to take his money, in some way or another. And through the transaction, and through the time we were dealing in this transaction, all I did was to fight for his price, his money, and to fight for the furniture they were buying, and everything. So he really felt for the first time that someone was really looking after him, and not taking advantage of him. And that for me was a reflection, because I'm a giver. I'm not used to receiving that surprise, especially that. I said, you don't have to do that. I already was compensated for the job I did. And he said, Denice, take it. This is for you, for your family. It's my gift for the services, for everything you did for us, that you went beyond my expectations. And we feel that this is an extra bonus for you and your family. So for me, it was learning also to receive from my clients as well. Not only I be always asked to do things, and in this case, he actually teach me something very important, that you also need to be open to be a receiver. So that was a fun experience, and I always reflect about that particular case, because in his way of thinking, he also was used to of getting services and taking advantages, or trying to get his money somehow. And I was trying always to fight for the last penny. So it's fun to see how the relationship with clients is always unique, and it's all about service, and that's what we do. So these are some of the stories, but there is just so many more stories to tell. This is Denice Landaeta from the Dluxuss Group in Cowell Market. I hope you enjoy.